Hey, Brittany with CNN again. I was just wondering if you could maybe clarify something with me. Going back to where you were talking about in the original document that was signed, I read it over, and certainly I am no contract lawyer, but it seemed that where the boxes were checked, saying that you have not been in any pictures, nothing on Facebook, nothing on MySpace, with any nudity. It seems that when you were saying that was the big bone of contention for you, that it was a false document, that something was checked and that was an issue. Now, if that document was, falsely signed, do you then have the right to make that decision to fire her because it's done within your organization as opposed to the USA organization? Should that be your decision as opposed to Mr. Trump's decision?
No, it falls into the Miss Universe organization in terms of what ultimately is the state. We'll make recommendations, we'll provide documentation, we'll talk about what our concerns are, and then it goes into Miss Universe and Mr. Trump decides. And as we've seen, he has in the past said, hey, we think we can move forward and
so even though it could be technically a breach of contract, it won't necessarily...
Well, I think this is an unusual circumstance because you need to remember that she felt attacked, she was given a political question, and we offered her the latitude to go out and make appearances at first to clarify her belief. As far as the photo goes, there's been some conversation of when it took place and how the circumstances were and whether or not there's really a breach, and we're dealing with their attorneys on that. For us, it was not the content that was so upsetting because girls have submitted photos similar. It's just the fact that it was not given to us to consider. Is that the only problem we have? No, the biggest problem for us is just that we aren't able to do our jobs right now.
So what, if you had to pinpoint what was the starting point of the problems that has led you to this point? Because you're angry, you're upset, and this is clearly reached a level that is enormous. We're all here, it's a big thing. What was the turning point that has brought it to this level for you?
Well, I think the turning point for us was when she decided that she wanted to move forward with media interviews in spite of the fact that her message was dividing us rather than bringing us back together. You have to understand that we never want to take away a girl's beliefs or her voice. You don't want to do it. You want to encourage them to have it. That's what we do. We try and make these women capable of being free thinkers. So we don't want to take that away. But when you wear the title that says, I represent everyone, you can't then polarize the people you represent. So the turning point for me, and I think for us, was really when she said, I'm sorry, I'm not speaking for you anymore, I'm speaking for me. And we said, there's really no difference between Carrie Prejean and Miss California USA. There's confusion in the marketplace, and your message is being heard because you're wearing our title.
I think that's a problem that happens with a lot of young women, especially when they do compete in pageants. It's kind of identifying themselves as individuals and when they wear the title. I knew when I was Miss USA in 1995, when I signed autographs, no one wanted Shayna Moker's autograph, they wanted Miss USA's autograph. And I think that's something she's having a difficult time understanding, and that is our issue.
Great, thank you.
Hey, John Rogers, Associated Press. If she retains her title tomorrow and you go forth from there, would she be welcome back? Would you be inviting her to appearances?
Absolutely, to any appearance she's willing to make, any appearance that she could safely make. And we need to get back to the business. We just want her to come back and fulfill the contract if that's what the decision is.
Hi, this is Jill Sargent of Reuters. Isn't this going to be terribly confusing for the public? I mean, it seems today you've basically appointed an alternate. We don't know what's happening to Miss California. Are we in danger of having two people possibly going around being Miss California?
Well, I would say hopefully we're not going to be confused because today we came to set the record straight. And specifically, Carrie Prejean does not speak when she speaks her beliefs, her personal beliefs, on behalf of our organization. So that's not the case. And so for us at Miss California now, we have an ambassador who can take our message, which is the beauty of California. It's recognizing the diversity and the beauty of our state and our people. And when Carrie is prepared to go out and to promote that agenda, she is welcome to come back and promote it. But until that point, until she feels comfortable in doing it, we must get back to our job at hand. And so we've had this program. This is not punitive or retaliatory. We have had this program in place for almost 5 years. We have just now decided to relaunch it and get back to work.
Hi, Access Hollywood again. I think the black and white question that I want to know is why is she not fired? It seems that when you have a new job and you're a new employer, and your employee doesn't do what the employer wants, how many chances does that employer get?
You know, at the end of the day, we as a state can only really go by our contract, but we are owned by Miss Universe. So like we said earlier, we can bring this to Miss Universe and to Mr. Trump and say, this is why we feel the title maybe should be removed, or why we feel you should take a second look at this contract because we're having problems at our family over at K2. But at the end of the day, Miss Universe does have the final say.
And I think you give someone a second chance, or you give them some latitude until at that point you feel exhausted. I'm exhausted.
So you're saying that you've given her more than 2 chances?
I'm saying that as of today, we're going back to work. We're getting back to the work at hand. You know, we're telling the organizations that have been really taking her voice, you need to let it go. It's time for you to move over. We're going back to work. This is our Miss California. It isn't your Miss California. And we're saying to Carrie, come on home, get back to work if that's what you want to do.
Any other questions? Did we get everybody's question?
Rob, with TMZ, why did they pay for her breast implants?
Well, you know what? We assisted in the financing because it's something that she came to us and she asked us about. And for us, it's really a personal choice in terms of, it wasn't a judgment choice. We said, you need to talk with your doctor, you need to talk with your family, you need to make sure it's something that you feel very compelled to do.
I also want to say, it's not pageants that are making or forcing young women to get breast implants. I think it's very well documented that women are getting breast implants younger and younger today. I think parents are buying breast implants for girls as graduation presents. So the breast implants really for us was irrelevant. It was never something that we really thought
I have to tell you, we stand back and we say, listen, this is your choice. Just make an educated choice. We'll give you as much information as we can.
Are you saying then that your organization is condoning younger girls and families?
Oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. What we're saying is, please, don't set up camp on my front yard and start telling me I'm the cause. I'm not. Seriously, I don't advocate. I don't think it's a good idea. I think someone needs to look at. We discuss it with our title holder. We say, are you sure? Is that something? So we just don't want it to appear that it's something that we're promoting, because we're not.
So I just want to make this clear. I want to be clear about this. So are you saying to the Miss Universe organization, Mr. Trump, we suggest you fire her as Miss California?
You know what? We've given alternate opinions. And we've said, listen, we can work under whatever plan you put forward, but understand this is what's occurred up until this point, and this is what we need in order to go from here on. And I've got to tell you that we don't know. We don't know how he's going to decide. We have no idea. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I have no idea. For all I know, I can be watching on television tomorrow and find out I'm fired. We don't know.
But one of the alternate plans is that they fire her, right?
Well, yeah, I think that certainly.
I think we've really put out a lot of different options and plans and choices to try to make this work to the best of our ability, and we are just simply...
We're from the pageant world. We always think it's going to work out. So we're trying to figure out how to make it work out.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate you coming. If you want to do any one-on-one interviews in this room, that will be available with several of the participants. Please let me know so we can do it in an orderly fashion. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Deadline photographers, AP, Reuters, you guys, do you have the shots that you need?